Hello, Linda.
Hello, Evelin.
My name is Evelin Lindner. Your name is Linda Hartling. And we met through Don Klein in 1998. I wrote an email to him. I was doing my doctoral research on humiliation and armed conflict in Rwanda and Somalia. And he wrote back that and connected me with you. And you, I see in my archive that you responded and wrote to me for the first time on the 27th of April in 1998.
That's right.
Then we met in person for the first time in 2003 when we had our second conference or first conference in Paris. It would be wonderful if you could explain a little bit more who you are.
Oh, I'm happy to do that. It's really nice to be with you, Evelyn. I started out with Don Klein as a doctoral advisor. Don Klein is a pioneering community psychologist who was one of the first to begin a dialogue about the experience of humiliation. He brought a number of people together to edit a journal in 1991 on the experience of humiliation and various topics. And I became fascinated with the whole topic of humiliation. And under his guidance, I developed a scale to assess the internal experience of humiliation, which I described as cumulative humiliation, the experience of humiliation over time, and fear of humiliation. And what was interesting about developing this scale is realizing how big the topic of humiliation is. And then we connected, and I learned even more about this enormous topic of humiliation, not only from my psychological studies and interpersonal dynamics, but from your perspective that's been so valuable at looking at the global dynamics of humiliation. So when we connected, at that time I was working at the Jean Baker Miller Training Institute, which is known as the home of what's called relational cultural theory. And it emphasizes a different perspective when it comes to research, which is not just focusing on the individual as the unit of study, but to look at the relationships as the unit of study. And I was working with Jean Baker Miller, who was my mentor, guide, inspiration. Her work was so helpful in studying the experience of humiliation because, one, it looks at relationships, the quality of relationships in people's lives, and particularly the dynamics of power that impact our ability to engage in those relationships. So I took that relational perspective and applied it to my research on humiliation. And I think we came together because you'd done this global field research on the global scene, and I was working on sort of the interpersonal dynamics, and we joined forces in around developing the network. And that's really been a gift to me in terms of learning so much from you, because you are a living example of taking a relational perspective to study.
While I was learning from you. You remember It's mutual. You remember how we met for the first time in 2003, and this we could say was really the real birth of the Human Dignity and Humiliation Studies Network. The idea was born in 2001, but really it came into realization and manifested itself more in 2003, and we met. And I think there has not gone one day since then where we didn't have at least 10 emails in between us.
That's correct.
So, and we have nurtured and developed together the Human Dignity and Humiliation Studies Network. And then we initiated last year, or over time, the World Dignity University Initiative. And in both the Human Dignity and Humiliation Studies Network and its outflow initiative, the World Dignity University Initiative, we have two hats.
Yes, yes.
We are educators, you could say, contributors as researchers. We are there in the capacity of being our researchers, and we do not wish to dominate our colleagues with our views. This is the kind of, if we think in terms of unity and diversity, we are part of the diversity of our network.
Exactly.
And our colleagues. And then we are also the nurturers of the network that is somehow the platform of where we invite others to contribute with their diversity. So if you could perhaps explain a little bit about these two roles and what they entail for you.
Yes, it's really a good point to let people know that we wear these two hats, Evelin, because yes, our research is important to us, which is to say we want to know more, we're in a learning mode, but we also are nurturing this community. I think a nice term is a thought community of people that are also interested in their topics. And what I've appreciated about our community building is that we say we put relationships first. And I think that's really a rather radical notion in the world. But I think it's necessary to do that to humanize this very human experience of humiliation and human dignity. And for me, that means working in a way that creates conditions for people to bring their best work to the table. And what we've done over the years, and we set this up starting in our first meeting in Paris, is to move this meeting around to bring more and different voices to the table. So when people come to our work, they may come thinking they're going to see a presentation and a performance, but what we are trying to do is bring together a community, and I like the term, listen people into voice about their experience and the work they're doing to advance or understand the dynamics of human dignity in the world. So it's been such a pleasure to work with you, because you understand how important it is to humanize our efforts as a community.
And in the spirit of Ubuntu, I can say I'm nothing without you. I'm only with you.
Yes, yes.
Because of you, I am.
Same. The same is true. We talk about mutuality and how important it's the exchange that makes the difference, and I think the concept of Ubuntu really captures that. And I also think for me, the work that we're doing is based on an idea that Jean Baker Miller talked about, is we grow best when we support the growth of others. So there's this fluid movement of co-creating that we strive for, and we create with the contributors that join us for the network.
Yes. Let me thank you. You are such a gift to the world, to our network, and to me personally.
And the feeling is the same. And we feel like we have so many gifts, this huge community that is a treasure to us, that keeps us going and rising above all obstacles. That is, it's just a community that helps us grow.
Yes.